Hey, what's going on, everybody? How we doing? As always, my name is Emir, and welcome to my diary. So today's episode 4. It's officially been a month since I put out the first episode, and I gotta say I'm proud of myself. I really am, because there has been times where I've wanted to stop. I've really just wanted to quit. There have been plenty of mornings I wake up just with this knot of anxiety in my stomach, just, thinking to myself, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? But then I let it calm down a little bit, and 10 minutes later I remember why I'm doing this, and it's all worth it again. But with any pursuit, I think that's normal, and that's what happens. But up to this point in my life, every time I've pursued something like this, I let those feelings of anxiety and stress and doubtfulness take over. And that's what today's episode is about. It's about keeping that inspiration, keeping that motivation, and keeping moving forward. Because as I said, I have not been able to do that yet. And of course, it's only been a month. I am way, way, way far away from where I want to be. But I am proud of where I am right now. And of course, I know I'm not the only one. I know we all have big ambitions, dreams, aspirations. But we don't chase them. We try for a week, and then next thing you know, it's gone. And you're wondering to yourself, where did that energy go? And about 6 months ago, I was on a work trip in Tallahassee. And I'm staying in my hotel room all alone. I'm just chilling. Nothing really going on. I'm staying up late. And I start writing because I'm having these feelings. Because even back then, I'm telling you, I was working on the podcast. But I kept losing that inspiration and that ambition. I kept losing it. So in order to address those feelings and get them out of me, I wrote this small passage down just in the heat of the moment, didn't plan it, didn't edit it, nothing at all. So I'm going to read this passage first, then I'm going to read the poem after. Because this passage is much older than the poem. I wrote the poem about a few weeks ago, not even, maybe 2 weeks ago. And this passage is what inspired the poem. So here it goes. I wonder if you ever figure out what you want in life. I imagine that if I knew, things would be much more simple. I could finally put my mind at ease and work towards what I want. My mind is constantly giving birth to new ideas, things I can do with this time I have on earth. While this is a beautiful gift, I find that for now, I am cursed. Too many ideas, so little action. What do you do when the light bulb in your head flickers to no end? A week of excitement leads to a faded memory of what could have been. Regret fills the soul. I realize that one day I will have to choose something and attack it relentlessly until I succeed. But for now, I will continue to search for something worthy of the attack. So that passage inspired this poem. I call this one Sparks. Inspiration comes and goes. Sparks of life ebb and flow. Here in a flash, then gone just as fast. What could have been, what didn't last. Now this issue of keeping that inspiration going, keeping that spark alive, I think it comes down to one question. Are you a fox or are you a hedgehog? And if you've never been asked this question before, I don't blame you if it sounds silly or if you don't understand it. But it's not a simple question like, would you rather be a dog or a cat? Or would you rather be a fox or a hedgehog? This question is actually a rather deep one that pertains exactly to what we're speaking about here. So about 2,700 years ago, there was this Greek poet Archilochus. And what Archilochus did for us was he left us this little piece of wisdom behind. And that piece of wisdom was this. The fox knows many things. The hedgehog knows one big thing. Now before we go deeper into really understanding this statement, we gotta understand where the basis of it comes from. So when you think of a hedgehog, you think of a nice little small cute animal, right? Now how does a hedgehog survive? How does a hedgehog get its food? It hobbles along the ground in search of anything it can pick up and eat. It has this one strategy. It hobbles along the ground until it runs into something it can eat. Then it eats that thing, whether it be a bug or an insect or a small berry or something like that. Then after that happens, it continues with that same strategy and hobbles along till it finds something else to eat. Now let's think about how a fox survives. You see, a fox is a much bigger animal than a hedgehog. It's still small in size, but it has options. You see, a fox doesn't have one strategy for finding its food. A fox can go into a big green field and stalk rabbits. A fox can go into the forest and rummage along the floor looking for mice. Or a fox can be bold and walk through the streets of your neighborhood in search of the family cat. You see, the fox has many options. It doesn't just have this one strategy. So the hedgehog knows one thing. The hedgehog knows hobble along the floor until you find something to eat. Whereas the fox knows many things. The fox can implement a number of strategies to find food. Now that you understand this, I'm going to ask you again. Are you a fox or are you a hedgehog? Do you know many things or do you know one big thing? And there is no right or wrong answer. You could be either a fox or a hedgehog. It doesn't matter. They each have their own benefits. They say the hedgehog is much better for leadership because it sticks to that one strategy and is able to implement it and move forward. Whereas the fox is better at gaining perspective. The fox has many strategies that it has in its pocket that it can apply to many different situations. Now, I believe unfortunately in my case, I am a fox. The curse that I earlier described in the passage of having too many ideas, an idea a week, the light bulb consistently going off, but no real action. I believe that's because I am a fox. I have so many strategies and so many ideas that inspiration is just hitting me on a weekly basis. And that inspiration, because of these new ideas that are coming, often fades so rapidly. And then 2 years later, I look back and I think about that one idea I had, that feeling that I had that this is what I'm going to do. I can do this. I'm going to be successful. I want to do this with my life. I just think about where did it go? And then I imagine what my life would be like if I never gave up. If I never lost that inspiration. If I kept working at it. If I didn't come up with a new idea and then chase that for a week and then come up with a new one after that. And it really does fill me with regret to think about it because I had some ideas at a young age that I really wanted to do. I believe it was like junior year of high school. I was really into the EDM music scene and I wanted to become a DJ. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to become a DJ. Martin Garrix was my idol, man. I saw him going around the world traveling. That song Animals, like that shit changed my life. It really did. Like that song was the anthem to like an entire year of my life. A summer in Montenegro. It was the anthem. So this is what I want to do. So the winter of that year, I saved up like $1,300 shoveling snow. And it snowed a lot that year. It was a good year. $1,300 to me at that time. I was a rich man. So springtime comes along and I still have this idea in my mind. Because you know what it is? It's like you have these ideas in your mind, but until you start to execute them, they'll still be there. You know, you can always do them. But as soon as you start to execute, that's when the ambition goes away. So you could sit on a dream for as long as you want and still believe in it. But it's the second you start executing it, that's when you really know if this is what you really want to do. So springtime comes along. And with that $1,300, I made the biggest purchase of my life. And I ordered this huge deck. I forget what you call it, a mixed board deck. You know, like a DJ deck. It had 4 different mixers, 4 different like platforms that I can plug in. Technically, I could have like 4 different songs playing at the same time. Anyways, this thing was top of the line. It was like $800. This was a huge purchase for me. And I remember my parents thought I was crazy, like spending this kind of money on this thing. But I really wanted to be a DJ at the time. And I'm making beats. I downloaded Fruity Loops. I'm messing around. Of course, I was garbage because I was only doing it for a week. But that's what I was really into. This is what I want to do. But the second I started executing, listen to this. This pisses me off to this day because you really do look back and think about where I could have been, man. I could have been traveling the world right now, you know, playing sick-ass shows for people and just going crazy, you know. I could have been having a great time. But the second I got it in, I realized my dumbass, I didn't even have a laptop to play it, right? So eventually I get a laptop, and I can't even figure out how to work the thing. All these wires and cables, and for some reason it's not coming up. And I let that stop me. I couldn't even get the thing running properly, and that's what stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. I don't know if that's it. But I let that be the excuse. I feel like oftentimes we do that. We start something new. And then we have this self-doubt. I can't be a DJ. I can never do this. Who am I? And then we find that one excuse. For me, I couldn't figure out how to work the damn thing for my life. I'm on the phone with tech support and all this shit. It's just not working. But I could have overcome that. I really could have. It would have taken some time, but that's fine. I could have overcome it. But no, I let that doubt sink in. I let new ideas sink in. And when that happened, I let this one little hoop that I had to jump through just to figure out how to use the damn thing and get it working. I let that be my downfall. So what did I do? I got a new idea. What was I going to do? I returned this. I got my $800 back. And I purchased a ticket to Montenegro for the summer. That was that. The DJ idea, the DJ dream was dead. From that day on, it died. But here I am, I don't know, 5 years later, and I think, what if I never stopped, man? What if I never did? And it's not like this was just one thing. Of course, everybody has an idea once in a while, and it just doesn't work out for them. But this is consistently what I do in my life. I am a fox. And there are a number of things and moments and ideas that I can point to in my life that I won't go so deep into, but another one, just to give you guys another example. I forget when it was sometime in high school again. I wanted to be a model. And this lasted a couple months. But my parents supported me through this one. They were paying $100 a week for me to go to these classes. And I think it was like a 12-week program. And that was huge. For them to be supporting me to go be a model, it's crazy to me. I really wanted to do that at the time. I thought I could do it. And I could have, of course. But I get to the last class, and I just never show up. I just never ended up going to that last class because, this one didn't really feel right to me. I wasn't really comfortable doing it, so I guess it's not that much of an excuse. But maybe I could have been comfortable doing it if I kept pushing through and at least finished that last class, Now, given these two examples that I just gave you guys, I'm sure you can think of at least a few in your life where something like this has happened. You had a dream. It seems like a good thing, great thing to do. You really want to do this. You have that spark of life. You're rejuvenated. You want to go attack this. And then you start to execute and do some research. Then 3 weeks later, you look back like, wait, wasn't I supposed to be doing this? And then you just let it slide. But I'm tired of letting shit slide. I'm tired of looking back at the things that I quit on and thinking about, wow, I could have been successful at this. Where would I be today if I never quit? And I really think that all successful people that we know just never quit. Go on YouTube, man. Do an interview with somebody who's famous or successful. What do they tell you? They just never quit. And do you think they never quit because that inspiration never went away? I don't think so. Inspiration comes and goes. But they just never quit. They didn't pay attention to that self-doubt. They didn't second-guess themselves. I'm sure they did, but they didn't buy into it. They didn't let it take over. They didn't find an excuse to stop. And maybe they're just hedgehogs. They found the one thing that they like in life, and they know that this is what they're going to do, and there is no other choice. This is their one strategy. They're going to do this until they become successful. But I'm sure that many of these successful people are not all hedgehogs. I'm sure that many of them are foxes. And they come up with new ideas. And the way that I know this is that I'm watching an Elon Musk interview, right? And he tells me the most dangerous thing for him is to buy into his new ideas. So that right there tells me that Elon Musk is a fox. How do you think he runs the Boring Company, SpaceX, Tesla? How do you think he runs these companies? He's a fucking fox. Nobody just owns a company, starts SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City, the Boring Company, and who knows what else he's going to do if they're a hedgehog. No, because a hedgehog would have stuck to one. A hedgehog would have called Tesla. He would have made Tesla and just been like, okay, this is my thing. Let's do Tesla. Nah, man. Elon Musk is a fox. And he says it himself, the most dangerous thing to him is a new idea and buying into it. Because as soon as he buys into that new idea, what's going to happen? The current ideas that he's juggling right now, they're going to fall through the cracks. And he knows that. And that gives me hope because I am a fox. There's a bunch of things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in podcasting, writing, photography, all these things. But one thing I can guarantee that Musk didn't do was give it 2 weeks and then say, oh, nope, I'm not cut out for this. Let's find an excuse, pull out. Because I find that so many people that I know, I myself, I have a lot of friends who are doing really cool things. And they've only been doing it for like 2 weeks now. And I know they have the same reservations as me, but it's like, guys, how can we know if something is going to be our thing, or if it's going to pay off, or if you're going to be successful in the first few months, even the first year? I feel like you got to, if you have something that you want to do, say I want it to be a DJ, say I want it to be that model, say I want to be a podcaster, I want to have a successful podcast. If I don't give it at least a year, how could you possibly even know that it won't work out? And a year is on the low end of the spectrum. Like, these things take time. Joe Rogan isn't talking to 250 million people a week because he only worked at it for 2 weeks. No, he started this shit way back in the day, and he just kept doing it. And that's what happens. You just keep doing it. And that's how you become successful. You don't have to be too talented. I don't think so. You just got to keep working, even if you don't have that inspiration. Because inspiration comes and it goes. It ebbs and flows. You're going to have it one day, the next day you're not going to have it. But I feel like if there's something that you actually want to do, whether you have inspiration or not, you just got to keep trugging along, keep going and see what comes of it. Give it some time. I told you, this is episode 4. It's been 1 month. Yes, I'm proud of myself, but I'm still scared. I'm still scared. I'm afraid that a few years from now, I'm going to look back and think, yo, why didn't I keep podcasting, bro? Like, I could have been doing something right now. I could have had a huge audience. But I'm not going to let that happen this time. I'm really not. Because I'm tired of looking back. I'm so tired of looking back and imagining what could have been, what didn't last. And if you're tired of this also, you're tired of looking back at what could have been and what didn't last, the next thing that you want to pursue, the next idea that you have, just pick one and pursue it for a year. Try to execute for 1 year. And I know it sounds crazy, 1 year. That's a long time, but it's not. It goes by so fast, I can't believe I've already done 4 episodes. And what blows my mind is that, like, we'll go to university and go to college for 4 years, pay however much money you pay, $20,000, $50,000, to get a decent job. Not even like have a talent or something like that. Just to get a job to get by, you'll give 4 years of your life for. On top of all the other years of school that you've done. And that's completely normal and justifiable. That's what we're told to do. It makes sense. But if you want to take a year off just to figure out what you want to do, you have an idea, you have a passion, you have a dream. You want to take a year off and pursue that. That's crazy? That's crazy to you? I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, I get it. You're scared. But nothing of value comes easily. And trust me, if you take that year off, it's going to be hard as shit. Because you're going to be full of self-doubt. People are going to think you're crazy. I mean, people probably think I'm crazy right now because I got a full-time job and I'm podcasting, right? I mean, what, 100 people listen to an episode? And I'm out here devoting this time trying to give it a year. This kid's crazy, huh? I mean, maybe so. But at least at the end of the year, I will have something to go off of. I will have something to evaluate and see whether or not, this is working out and I can keep moving forward. And like I said earlier, that's at the low end of the spectrum. At least give it 1 year. At the very least. Because at the end of the day, I'm tired of being a fox. I really am. Like, being a fox is okay. But you got to be able to dedicate yourself to one idea. Maybe 2 if you have the capacity. But no more of this once a week bullshit that I've been doing my whole life. Once a week, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a fucking astronaut. I'm going to be a DJ, a singer, a rapper, whatever. I'm done with that. Right now, I've chosen that I want to do this podcasting thing, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to see where it goes. I'm going to keep walking, trudging along. I'm going to keep going. So to my fellow foxes out there, pick something. Pick something, give it a year. Don't buy into the self-doubt. Just give it 1 year and see what happens. And to my hedgehogs out there, if you know this is what you want to do, the one thing that you've been working on for a while, you know it's what you want to do, it's maybe not working for you, keep going. If you know in your heart this is what you want to do, just keep going. One of these days it's going to click. I'm telling you, one of these days it's going to click for you. And if it doesn't click, even if you're a fox or a hedgehog, if whatever you're working on doesn't click, That's fine, man. It's fine. It's better to live knowing you tried than living with regret. I mean, the ideas that I did not execute on, the ideas that I did not follow through with already to this point in my life. I say it all the time, 22 short years. They already fill me with so much regret. They already do, and I hate that shit, man. I don't want to continue that cycle. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. You know I love you guys so much. And if you have an idea, just keep working on it, even if you're not getting recognized, even if it hurts, even if you wake up in the morning like me and have a knot of anxiety in your stomach, and you're like, what the fuck, bro? Why am I doing this? Why am I adding this stress to my life? Remember why you started. And keep fucking working. Just keep going, man. Let's see where it takes us. So do me a favor. I ask you guys every single episode, and I'm going to keep asking you because it means so much to me. And you know I appreciate every single one of you who do it. But like the podcast, share the podcast, leave a review. That's the best thing you can do for me at this moment. And reach out to the kid, man. I feel like since episode 1, I've had a few people who I love for doing it, who have been reaching out to me and, hitting me up, sending me poetry and shit like that. But it's kind of been the same people, man. Where are my new faces at? Stop being so shy, man. I'm an open book. I'm not going to bite you, I swear to God. I want to hear what you're working towards. I want to hear what you think of the podcast. Hit me up, man. Stop being so shy. At the end of the day, we're here to connect, and I already know you guys are a bunch of fucking weirdos like myself. So let's do it, man. Let's link up. Hit me up. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in from the bottom of my heart. I love all you guys, and take it easy.